Have you ever wondered why people can influence you even when you think you are careful? What if your own mind has weaknesses others quietly take advantage of every day? This video reveals psychological weaknesses everyone has and how they are used against you. Awareness gives you strength and protection. Stay focused as each point reveals something powerful. Do not forget to like and subscribe to stay informed and safe. 1. Fear of rejection. Fear of rejection makes you change behavior to gain approval from others. You avoid expressing opinions because acceptance feels more important than honesty. Manipulators exploit this fear by threatening exclusion or disapproval subtly. You agree to things you dislike to avoid disappointing people. This fear makes boundaries difficult to maintain consistently over time. Social pressure feels overwhelming when rejection seems possible. People use silence or distance to trigger this weakness. Anxiety increases when approval is delayed or withdrawn unexpectedly. You question your worth when acceptance feels uncertain. This fear keeps you compliant and emotionally dependent. Manipulators reward obedience with temporary approval. Discomfort grows when you think differently from others. Independence weakens as approval becomes necessary. Confidence declines when self-worth depends on others. Awareness helps you value yourself without external validation. This fear can shape major life decisions without you realizing it. 2. Need for validation. The need for validation drives people to seek praise and recognition constantly. Compliments feel essential for emotional comfort and confidence. Manipulators offer approval selectively to control behavior. You perform actions mainly to receive positive feedback. Without validation, you may feel insecure or unworthy. This weakness is exploited through praise and withdrawal cycles. Approval becomes a reward for obedience. Self-trust decreases as external opinions gain importance. You begin doubting yourself without reassurance. Manipulators position themselves as judges of your value. Emotional dependence forms around their approval. Criticism feels devastating and personal. Decisions are shaped by fear of losing praise. Independence fades as validation becomes addictive. Awareness restores confidence rooted in self-respect. Over time, this need can make you predictable and easy to influence. 3. Fear of conflict. Fear of conflict causes people to avoid confrontation at all costs. You remain silent even when something feels wrong. Manipulators exploit this by pushing boundaries gradually. Peace becomes more important than fairness or truth. You tolerate disrespect to avoid uncomfortable conversations. This weakness allows control without resistance. Your needs are ignored while you remain agreeable. Manipulators escalate demands knowing you will not object. Resentment builds internally without being expressed. Emotional pressure increases as avoidance continues. Silence is mistaken for agreement repeatedly. Fear keeps you trapped in unfair situations. Self-expression feels dangerous or stressful. Confidence weakens when conflict is avoided constantly. Awareness teaches that healthy conflict protects self-respect. Avoiding confrontation can make you dependent on others to decide for you. 4. Desire to belong. The desire to belong makes people follow groups unquestioningly. Being accepted feels safer than standing alone. Manipulators use group pressure to influence decisions. You ignore doubts to stay included socially. Opinions shift to match the majority view. Fear of isolation overrides personal values. Agreement becomes automatic without critical thinking. Social approval feels more important than truth. Manipulators claim everyone agrees to force compliance. Individual identity weakens under constant conformity. You suppress uniqueness to avoid rejection. False consensus creates emotional pressure. Standing alone feels uncomfortable and risky. This weakness limits independent thinking. Awareness strengthens confidence in personal beliefs. Over time, the need to belong can make you predictable and easier to manipulate. 5. Emotional attachment. Emotional attachment makes people excuse harmful behavior repeatedly. Feelings override logic when bonds feel strong. Manipulators exploit attachment to maintain control. You justify actions that would be unacceptable otherwise. Fear of losing connection keeps you compliant. Emotional investment clouds judgment and clarity. Hope replaces reality in unhealthy situations. Attachment deepens even when harm continues. Manipulators promise change to maintain influence. You focus on potential instead of behavior. Leaving feels painful and frightening. Emotional bonds feel stronger than self-protection. Boundaries collapse under attachment pressure. Self-worth becomes tied to the relationship. Awareness separates emotion from rational decision-making. This attachment can be used to predict your choices and reactions consistently. 6. Authority bias. Authority bias makes people trust figures who appear powerful. Titles, status, or confidence create automatic credibility. Manipulators present themselves as experts to gain control. You obey instructions without questioning motives. Doubt is suppressed due to perceived authority. This weakness reduces critical thinking abilities. Manipulators discourage questions to maintain dominance. Confidence is mistaken for competence repeatedly. You defer decisions to those in authority. Responsibility is shifted away from yourself. Fear of challenging authority keeps you silent. Errors go unnoticed due to blind trust. Personal judgment becomes undervalued. Authority becomes a substitute for evidence. Awareness encourages questioning regardless of status. This bias can be exploited in workplaces or social hierarchies regularly. 7. Fear of uncertainty. Fear of uncertainty makes people seek quick answers and security. Unknown outcomes feel stressful and uncomfortable. Manipulators exploit this by offering false certainty. You accept guidance to escape doubt quickly. Decisions are rushed to avoid discomfort. Control is gained through promises of safety. Fear weakens patience and critical evaluation. You rely on others to reduce anxiety. Manipulators exaggerate risks to influence choices. Uncertainty is framed as danger repeatedly. Comfort becomes more important than truth. Independence feels risky under pressure. You surrender control for reassurance. Growth is limited by fear of unknown outcomes. Awareness builds tolerance for uncertainty and resilience. Constant fear of unknown outcomes can make you highly suggestible. 8. Desire for control. The desire for control makes people fear losing influence over situations. Manipulators threaten chaos to assert dominance. You comply to regain a sense of stability. Control is used as leverage against you. Fear of loss drives obedience and submission. You prioritize control over personal values. Manipulators create problems, then offer solutions. Dependence forms around their guidance. Stress increases when control feels threatened. You accept unfair terms to feel secure. This weakness fuels manipulation cycles. Control becomes an illusion offered conditionally. Freedom is exchanged for perceived stability. True control comes from internal strength, not dominance. Awareness restores autonomy and emotional balance. This desire can be exploited subtly to predict your behavior repeatedly. You now understand how common psychological weaknesses are used against you daily. Awareness breaks manipulation and restores control over your mind. Use this knowledge to protect your emotions and decisions. Share this insight with others who need clarity. Understanding weakens manipulation instantly. Your mind deserves peace and confidence. Stay alert and self-aware in every situation. Learning builds mental strength consistently. Awareness leads to freedom and independence. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more powerful content.